Alrighty. Hey everyone, welcome to another day of TSC Daily, where we're hoping to, be a place you can go to for some educational, entertaining content, especially during all the different lockdowns that are happening out there in Malaysia and Singapore at this point. All right, so my name is Chung Soon, and I am one of the co-founders of the Financial Coconut. Joining me here is my co-host Andrew,
Hello.
and our guest today is Nick.
Hey guys.
All right. So Nick is a part-time trader. So we actually work together full-time at a different company here in Malaysia. But she's been a part-time trader for the last 2-3 years. And we actually had her on our show a year ago when the initial lockdown started. And we had so many great stories that we learned from Nick, and that we really wanted to bring her back on. She's definitely continued to grow as a trader, and just based off my own personal experience, I know there's been a lot of people who've been really interested in the markets the last year or so, right? And so hopefully through this conversation, you get a chance to kind of learn more about the technical side of trading. And I guess before we really dig into all of this, none of this is investment advice. Please do your own research, do your own studies. There's a lot of things from a technical perspective that we will not be covering because, it's something that I think Nick spent over a year learning herself, and is continuing to master today. So that's not something we can put into like an hour conversation, right? So please do make sure you learn the fundamentals yourself, and yeah, take care of yourself, right? Anyway, so today's episode is brought to you by the Financial Coconut. The Financial Coconut is a personal finance podcast, Singapore's largest personal finance podcast, and we've been creating a lot of really great content from bonds to breaking down different ETFs to right now we're really digging into the retirement space, what have you. So do check us out on any podcast player or go to thefinancialcoconut.com. All right, so with all that said, let's actually begin the conversation. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you
Hello,
so much,
Nick.
Chung-Soon. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me again for the second time.
For sure.
It's like a follow-up, right, from the last time, which was like 1 year ago.
Yeah,
I think the
that's
most
true.
important topic for today is: did you two manage to successfully register for your vaccination? Start
Yeah,
off with
that's
that.
like a very hot topic. But yeah, the answer is no, and I know Chung-Soon didn't manage to register
Yeah.
himself as well.
Because Chong Soon is based in Malaysia, Nick is as well, and I know that your T-shirt is saying proudly Malaysian.
Woohoo.
That's right, and I realized that today it's open to across all ages, because in Singapore we're
Yes.
still doing it by stages
true.
according to our different age band. So today now all of you can register.
That's true.
Yes, yeah. So I just make sure. I guess I think there's a few caveats. I think this was a one-off thing where they had an extra set of doses that they needed to get rid of, and it was really more on a first come first serve. That said, I don't really know the numbers off the top of my head, but someone was telling me that like all the slots were pretty much taken within 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it was definitely a very crazy experience out there.
Of course.
People are going for
That's
their
true.
jabs.
Yep. People are not
Okay.
afraid to take the vaccine anymore.
Which is good, right? I mean, people are like having different point of view about the vaccines and coming to terms with it and beginning to
Yeah.
accept and understand it, right? So with that aside, they have tried to register this morning. Now their mind is focused on this live stream, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook that you're watching on right now. Today we're going to talk about trading. So Nick, back then when you first did the live with Chong Soon and Reggie, you're just starting out. What has changed in this like 1.5?
Well, so last year, if I remember correctly, it was actually when I came in, I just recently went live with a live account, basically. And before that, I was really like studying about Forex all by myself about a year or so. It wasn't easy to study on your own because you needed like some mentor to guide you through. But I didn't want to like spend too much money because I know previously I spent so much already to go for like options trading classes, and it cost me like, I don't know, 5,000 ringgit. Just to know that to start options trading, you actually need at least like 2,000 US dollar. in order to be able to like grow your money, right? So it's like more money and more money. So I didn't want to like spend so much. I studied for about a year, and then last year I started trading. And what changed is, well, by the end of last year, I actually got myself a mentor, and she's actually a very a friend of mine. We studied together, and I didn't know that she was trading forex, but we talk, and then she said she has classes and courses. So we are currently right now like very closely, like every single day or at least every week we talk about like trading and sharing strategies, which is super cool because then we can just exchange ideas and so on. And then, well, over the past 1 year, I've learned so much in a way that there's so many strategies out there. You can learn as many strategies as you want. But thing is, the strategies that you learn has to match your own personality and how you actually trade. Like for me, because I'm a part-time trader, I don't have time to just monitor the market, where the price is going. I have my own full-time job, right? So I can only trade after working hours, which is normally at around 8 p.m. Until about 12 p.m. At night. Yeah, the past year has been about just learning from experimenting different strategies and really losing money, making some profits, but not consistently. Just trying to find out what kind of trader I am, looking at my personality, just looking at and building habits basically. Because honestly, obviously now I've come to realize that without a good habit and without like discipline and consistency, you won't end up anywhere. But I think that was like my major big breakthrough, to be able to realize this. And of course, just recently, I would say just recently, I've managed to somehow like set aside my emotions while trading, because finally I found like a strategy that really works for me. So that's what's up over the past 1 year.
That's actually a lot of stuff. I actually just wanted to, I guess, dig in a bit more, just for those 2 people who are watching, just so you're aware, today we're really going to be digging more into the life of a part-time trader. So things we're really going to dig into is, Nick's story about how she got into it. We'll talk a bit more about the technicals, and then we'll really dig into the emotional side of things. So that said, I know when we first started talking a year ago, right? You were just kind of completing that learning phase, and you say you went through the whole self-learning phase, right?
That's true.
Can you tell us more about how you went about doing that? Is there a place you can learn all of these things? And how do you make sure you're actually on the right track versus, how do you build that confidence that the things you're learning, that you're actually learning what you think you're learning?
Right. So there are quite a lot of free materials out there. Well, one of it is like this podcast, right? It's all like free content for everyone. But for Forex specifically, and you may remember that I told you guys this last year, I actually went through babypips.com. It's actually a website that has like every single thing that you need to know about Forex. But it's such a long course, I would say, that it took me about a year just to learn and actually understand, because it's just super technical. And I'm in HR, and all this technical analysis doesn't really resonate with me. So it took me forever to actually understand the market. And so I also started like looking into other traders as well, and looking into like cheap courses, but pretty effective. So I found a couple of traders in Malaysia that does like online classes for about 250 ringgit for like a week's course. So which was pretty okay. But then it was all about upselling, right? It was all about like joining their courses, and then they would offer you like private coaching, and the price will really go up. So I didn't want to opt for that. And how I actually built my confidence is that I actually went trading like on a live account just to test out my understanding and also my strategy to see whether it works or not. And of course, I learned it the hard way, but at the same time, still managing my risk and reward, obviously, so that I don't, burn all of my initial capital. I still have them actually, so that's pretty cool. And some people would normally tell you to go on a demo account for about 3 months or so before you actually start trading, but I didn't do that. I wanted to actually feel the experience and really experience the whole emotional and the whole trading psychology. And I wanted to learn faster. That's why I straight away go into a live account. It's not recommended, just so you know, but I would say it's like the best way for me to learn, at least for me. So you need to also like find out what kind of trader you are and how you learn best. And that's how I learn best, right? And at the same time, I also learn like, and people always say this, you would only need to trade during the active sessions of UK session or like London session. You gotta look into the pairs and see which pairs is suitable for which session. So I completely like ignore that, and I would trade like GBP USD during Asian session, which is not the best way to trade. But you would only really understand that when you actually trade and when you actually see that there's not much result while trading outside of the trading session. And also you mentioned about how I built my confidence. Well, so last year I met with a friend of mine who's also a trader, and I asked her to like private coach me. So what she did was to review my trading strategy and look into how I was like executing my strategy and my thought process and what's not. So she was there to like kind of like validate that the things that I do is actually correct. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. The strategy works. It's just how you use that strategy and when you use that particular strategy, right? And so that was just a learning process for me. And right now, because I'm a part-time trader, for me specifically, and I also don't like looking into the chart on a larger time frame, like monthly or weekly time frame. And I really just wanted to have like some kind of return, every single week or even every single day. It doesn't matter how big or small the returns are. So for me, I found that scalping is the best way for me to do it. And so far, just recently, I realized that scalping gold is the best way for me to grow my small account, because gold is such a volatile metal, and it can go up to, like yesterday, it went up to, I don't know, 200 pips or something. It was like really just flying. So as long as you get that, if you saw the chart, right? So I got into the market last night. So you only need like 1 or 2 really good trades for you to like make just make some money. Even today, I took like 2 trades and it was already like 60 pips, and I'm done for the day. So it was pretty
congratulations,
cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So before we I know you're using a few different terms here, but I don't know if the audience, and personally, like I don't even know if I actually know what the terms mean. So what exactly is pips?
Okay, well, in Forex, we would normally look into the losses or profit in terms of like pips. So it depends on the lot size that you use. So like for me, normally I would use like a very small lot size. It's 0.05. And if you were to get like 20 pips out of 0.05 lot size, it means that you'll be getting $25. And if you lose that, it depends if you are selling or buying, then you'll lose $25. $25, not ringgit. Sorry about that. But basically, like profit and losses are being looked into based on how many pips that you're getting.
Okay, and then you also use. Yeah, it makes sense for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say it's almost like a unit of, it's like a specific unit, right? That kind of gets more used more as a trader and scalper and what have you, right?
Yeah.
And which brings up my second question. What exactly is a
Scalping.
scalper?
Right. Okay, my bad. So there's a different types of trader. Basically, scalper is a type of trader where you would go into really small time frame, like 5 minutes or 1 minute time frame, and really look into the market and then go in and out in no time. Like in 2 hours, you can make 50 pips, for example, or $50, for example. Right, and scalper would only use so scalper would go into a larger time frame, like the 4-hour time frame or 1 hour, just to see where the direction of the price is going, whether it's uptrend or downtrend, and then they'll go into a lower time frame to actually enter the trade and then exit the trade with little bit of profit, and then over time it'll become more and more. But with gold, you can actually do both, because gold moves so fast. It goes like 40 pips up and up to like 200 pips yesterday. So you can get quite a lot, even though you're like scalping on a 1 minute time frame. And they're also like swing trader, for example. Swing trader would normally go look into a daily time frame or 4-hour time frame and then see what's the best entry point for them to actually go into the trade. They won't go into like 15 minutes or 5-minute time frame. They won't go into the minute time frame. And then we have like intraday trader as well, which would only hold trades only for the day, right? And they'll basically close the trade when the session has already ended. And because I don't do this like every day, and I don't do it like during the daytime, I would only do it like a couple of hours at night. That's why I would go to scalp gold, because it takes about 2 hours or so just for you to get small profits, but maximum return. But of course, remember to look into your risk and reward ratio as well. You would only want to like risk, and depends on how much you have in your account, but most traders would only risk at least maximum 1% for each trade. We don't risk that much, only 1%. But it depends on how aggressive you want to be as well, and depends on the market. Sometimes I would risk more, but of course there are trading rules that you want to like set for yourself, right? So that you don't like burst your initial capital.
Okay, I want to shout out to the audience at this point in time. You can leave comments, ask questions at any point in time during this live. Just put it down in the comments. We'll take some time to answer those questions. And do share this live stream if you find it useful, or if you know people who are interested in trading. So Nick has shared with us like a bit about the mistakes that she's made and like your own style. So like, how would you describe your own style out of like so many different styles that you've just mentioned? And I have a follow-up question to that, which is, could you give an example of something that you learned, a mistake that you've made, which you corrected because it wasn't aligned with your style?
Well, one mistake. There's so many mistakes that I can't even choose, right? But one of the mistake I would say is in terms of like the emotion part of the whole trading psychology, right? And I think this is like one of the biggest part for me, and it took me a while to actually realize this. So the biggest mistake that I would say is that when you enter a trade and when your setup isn't making you profits, you should just let it go. And not like re-enter the trade because you want to like revenge, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I lose $50 and then I really want to make it back right now. So you decide to like, okay, just enter another trade. That was like my biggest mistake, and obviously that was before I have like a very strict rule on how I would enter a trade. Right now, I would never do that because, well, first things first is that you need to always protect your capital. I mean, as much as you want to like profit and make a lot of money, you can't make money without any money, right? If you're always like losing money, you would end up with nothing, and that's what we want to like avoid. And especially for me, I'm a little bit conservative in the way that I trade. I don't trade like super aggressively. I would stick to one lot size until I manage to like compound that money. And double it up or something before I actually increase my lot size. And most traders would normally, so for example, I'll just give you one example, right? I would some traders would enter a trade on a smaller lot size, maybe 0.05, and then if they see that the trend is going up, and then they would want to like go in and grab more pips or more profit, they'll enter on a larger lot size, say 0.10, for example. But in the end, we don't know where the market will want to go, so you lose so much more if you don't like manage your own lot size and stuff. Obviously I did that as well, and I think most trader, if you're like a newbie and if you've done this before, and I'm sure that many have done this before, they would increase their lot size because they want to like try to recover as much as they can in a very short period of time. And also it's not easy to do that. So just you got to stick to your rules and make sure that you stick to your trading plan in order to maximize your profits.
So when you mentioned that you're losing money and you want to double down to get back what you've lost, that sounds familiar. That sounds like the casino, right? Like
Yes.
like you just want to bet it against. But like you said,
Yes.
so your style is like you're not as aggressive, and one that you've learned is that you didn't cut your losses. So that's what happened. But I mean, theoretically, we all know this, right? Like we know you have to cut your losses when you've made a mistake, judgment. But you kind of have to put your money on the line in order to find that out about yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
You got cut a little bit there, but yeah, I guess you mentioned about some exit strategy or something.
Like, how do you know when to get out? Actually, is what I want to ask you.
Right. Okay. So for me, what I'll do is I'll actually set like a stop loss limit, like how much I am willing to risk in that one particular trade, right? So I would always have like my stop loss. So for each trade that I do, I would normally willing to risk at least like maximum 3%, maximum. So about if you have like a $100 account, then maximum the only risk is only 3% out of that, right? For me, if the setup doesn't work, then I'll just let the price hit my stop loss, which means I'll just lose that 3%. And then I'll search for another setup to see if I can actually enter on another setup. But for me, I would normally like set that straight from the very beginning that I put my trade in. Obviously, as a scalper, and obviously if you are trading gold, the market goes up and down like very, very quickly. Like in 5 minutes, you can earn like, I don't know, so much already, or you can also lose so much. So that's why it's very, very important for you to set how much, in your mind, and also set it straight on the platform itself, how much you're willing to risk that particular trade.
Okay, so I remember, I think there are two numbers that you've kind of thrown out here, or 3% or 2 percentages that you have thrown out, right? You said something about a 3% loss, and then I think you were also saying that that most traders won't put more than 1% of their total balance in one trade, right? So
you're right.
So if I understand that correctly, what you're saying here is you would put up to 1% into a trade, but you will only allow it to move 3% downwards before you get out.
Yes,
Okay.
You're right.
There you go.
You're right.
Just want to make sure I got all that correct there.
Yes.
And then we also have not a question, but a comment from Dean here. So 1 pip is about a movement of 0.0001 for most, but not all pairs. Thank you, Dean, for making it a little clearer than what we were able to do just now.
Yes. Thanks, Dean.
We also spoke a bit about the setup and exit point. So very soon, Nick will be showing us an example with actual charts, like an example of a trade that she has done before to give us a better idea of what to look out for. Is that right, Nick?
Yes, of course. I'm happy to
Are you
share.
ready to go into that? All right, let's go.
Of course. Let me just share my screen. I can share with you a couple of trades that I took actually yesterday and also today as well.
Oh, and I realized because our live starts at 8 p.m., are we like eating into your trading hours? Because she does trading from like 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, right? You're supposed to be trading right now, but she's taking the time to do this live with all of us.
Sorry guys, just give me one moment. My
No problem.
some technical issue.
All good.
All good.
We'll just wait
Okay,
for you
just sharing
because
my
at the
screen
same
here.
time, we can also let the audience ask some questions. And it's
course.
also a good time to remind you to follow us, whether you're watching it on Facebook or on YouTube, you can subscribe and check out our Financial Coconut podcast.
Right. Okay, you know what? There's also like too many tabs that are open right now. That is
Like
not
our
like
brains, yeah.
related to this. My bad. Okay, anyway,
All good?
this was all good. This was like the trade that I took yesterday. This was at around 8 p.m. Malaysian time, which is just nice for New York Open. New York session starts at 8 p.m. their time, and it's like just pretty nice for us. So during the day, I saw that this was like a recent support that that was there, and I saw this pattern, this triangle pattern. So I was just waiting for the price to break, right? So price actually broke a few times, actually, one time right here and the second time right here. And I actually took this trade, and obviously I took some losses as well, because one, you have to realize that no matter how perfect your setups are, there would always be, it's not always going to be 100% profit, right? So let's just see what happens. Just before I move on, and just a strategy that I really want to share with you guys. My strategy is super simple. It's all about following the trend. So I've got like 4 rules basically. The first one is before you enter a trend, before you enter a trade, just make sure that the first thing is the price breaks whatever structure that you're seeing. So right now I'm bullish on gold. This was yesterday. So price has already broken structure pretty much like twice already. And then the second one is pretty much about price. The candle has to close above. I've got like 3 exponential moving averages here just to determine the trend. So I've got like 50 moving averages, 21 and also 7. So price has already like closed above all these 3 moving averages, which is also an indicator that price is moving up, right? And also I would go into a 1 minute time frame. This would be like an additional confirmation for me to enter the trade. Just give me one moment.
And for those who are also watching, I think we are on the we were on the 5 minute
Yes.
time frame, right? And now we're looking at the 1 minute.
Yes, you're right. Okay, here you go. So I highlighted this already. And on the 1 minute time frame, there's also like a confirmation that I would normally wait for. One is to make sure that the larger EMA, which is the 50 moving average, is trending below the prices, which means that the trend is going up, right? But of course, it was like going up. This too was a fake breakup that I didn't caught because I really thought that the price was going to go up. This was like the support level, the current support level that it was yesterday, and price moved up, and then it went down for a while, and then it moved up again. But of course, it was like hitting my stop loss already at this level. So I already like lost 1 trade yesterday, but I was still bullish on this on the pair. So I still waited for another breakout, which happened right here. So if you were to look at the 5 minute time frame earlier, there was this one candle that really broke the structure. So that was my first confirmation. The second confirmation is that it basically the whole candle closed above all 3 exponential moving averages, which determines that the price is moving up. So right now, while I was looking at the trade, it was already like 30 pips above. It was already moving so fast. And so I was just thinking, okay, where should I enter, right? So for me, my confirmation is that I would enter when the price retrace and when there's a momentum. So the momentum here is actually this one particular candle. We call it a bullish engulfing candle, which means this particular candle is engulfing all the other candles previously. So this is like a very huge momentum where you can enter the trade right away. So if I were to like measure this, and this was the trade I took yesterday. I entered here up to this one candle. So it was about like 70 pips that you got, right? So it was about, I can't remember how much it was. It was about, depends on how much, what's the lot size that you put, but 70 pips in one trade is a huge win, right? And of course, as a scalper, I would close all of my trades before I sleep at night. So I don't hold any position, and I would only enter like one position at a time, because I'm trying to like flip a very small account. So I don't want to like go on too many layers. Some traders would normally do that to make sure that they grow their account like super fast, but I don't normally do that. I'm just like fine and content with one successful trade, and that's it. And then good night, right? But then you can see what happened was price went up all the way. Right now it's like trending, I think at around, so pretty much like it went down obviously for a while just to retest this particular area, because right now when price goes up and then fall back down, this would be our new support, right? And then price goes up, and I also took some trades as well here. So I'll show you on a 5-minute time frame. It's the same rule. Let me just put it here. So on a 5-minute time frame, you can actually see that the trend was, you can see this is a trend line right here. It means that the price is trending uptrend. And you can also see like the 50 EMA here, 50 exponential moving average. Price is also trending above that EMA, which means price is still going uptrend. But you can actually see here that price actually broke, right? So I took this trade because I saw that the price was going to break. So this one particular trade, let me just go to the 1-minute time frame. And because today was a public holiday in Malaysia, I had time. Okay, so this was right here. So for me, once the price has already broken structure, so it already broke trend line, and then price, the candle has already closed below all 3 EMAs. What I want to see is where I can actually enter the trade. Some people would not enter because they think that it's a little bit too late, but I would find a very strong candle in order to enter, because you already know it's a downtrend, so you want to sell it, right? So there's a strong candle right here, and you can actually sell right here. And if you were to sell, you'll get quite a number of pips actually. Yeah, about 40 pips right there. So 40 pips in a day, it's pretty good. And of course, you can't, so being a scalper is a little bit risky, I would say, because you would also need to look into a larger time frame just to see whether your trade is actually would be a successful trade. So if I were to look at the 15-minute time frame, it's actually just a retracement, which means price only retraces for a while before moving further up. So on a 15-minute time frame, you can actually see this was the trade that I took, right, for like a very short pip. But on a 15-minute time frame, you can actually see a very strong bullish engulfing candle right here, and then momentum is still going up right now. So I also took this trade again. So I was like selling and buying, selling and buying, and that's why that's how I got like 60 pips at least for the day. So that's how like scalping works. You hold your trade for a couple of minutes or maybe a couple of hours, and then you close it, and then find another opportunity, and then keep on doing the same thing. So I also took this trade right here, and what happened on a smaller time frame is that I'm just like going to all the different time frames. Okay, so on a smaller time frame, again, same strategy, same rule. There's a structure. You can see the structure right here. So on a 5-minute time frame, price already broken structure. So we're looking at this particular candlestick right here. And you can actually find all this information on YouTube. This is like all the secrets that other traders would sell you for like $6,000 just to teach you this, right? And obviously I found it, after trading and after going through losses and profits and what's not. Okay, so on a 1 minute time frame, you know that price has already broken the structure on a 5 minute time frame. So it's a strong momentum that the price is is moving up, right? And then you need to think where you want to enter the trade. So I took the trade right here when I saw a bullish engulfing candle right here. So I straight away enter here. This was like for a very short pips because I didn't want to hold it. I think it was about like 20 pips or so. And this was already at like, almost like 4 p.m. or something. So this was another short trade, also a successful trade. And I would only like trade by confirmation. Also, I just want to like share with you guys, right, what happened if I don't wait for confirmation. So right now you might see that, okay, price is trending up and maybe I want to sell it because if price already broke structure, then it means that it's an indication for me to sell. True, but that's the only one rule. The second rule and fourth rule is not being fulfilled, right? So if I were to take this trade, even though it has broken structure, but it still hasn't broken my, it broke structure right here. Oh, sorry, it's a very messy drawing, but it never closed below the 50 EMA. Although, a couple of moments later, this particular candle already break this structure, this trend line, and then already close below the 50 EMA, right? However, you can also see that my third confirmation is that price needs to, if it's going downtrend, then the EMA, this exponential moving average, has to be trending up in order to know that price is moving down. But it was not trending above the candles, so I never took this short trade. So this is how you need rules, to make sure that you don't just take your trades blindly. And then you can actually see right here, it basically like rejects the previous support, and then there's a it's a pretty huge momentum right here. This is not a bullish engulfing. It doesn't engulf the previous candlestick, but it's a pretty big momentum, and it basically like rejects that price is moving downtrend. So there's only like 4 things that you need to know in this particular strategy, and if you follow it through, highly likely, I won't say like 100% you'll be having like successful trades all the time, but this technique at least has proven 60% of win rate, and that's actually a very good percentage, I would say, because most trading strategy, if you have at least 60% win rate, it would normally work. So that's it. And then I stopped trading because I wanted to like share this with you guys tonight, and I want to like prepare something. And if I may, because earlier I spoke to both Chung Soon and also Andrew, you guys thought that I should probably just look into Bitcoin. So
Yeah,
just
so
to
the question,
share with you. Yeah.
Just the question, or for the audience, in case they're wondering, is like, we want to kind of understand, like, from a technical trading perspective, like, do all of these rules apply to pretty much any asset class, right? So we want to go to the extreme of like, okay, Bitcoin is definitely very, very, very volatile. So can you still use something similar, like a similar trading strategy for Bitcoin?
Yes.
Right. And yeah, so let's see what Nick's got for us.
Yes. Okay, so this is Bitcoin, and I was looking at it earlier. I don't trade Bitcoin, but because I would rather trade gold. It's a more stable metal. But you can actually see, so I did a very quick analysis on this, and this works like, this strategy basically works like, on any charts, and pretty much any pairs or stock or even Bitcoin or crypto. So you can actually see that back in January, it was already like trending up. And I'm not just saying that because I drew a trend line that it's trending up, but because you can actually see the exponential moving average is also trending below the prices, means that the price is trending up, right? And then you can also see a strong rejection right here. Rejection means there's a strong bullish engulfing right here that rejects this particular exponential moving average to make sure that the price is still trending up. So it was still trending up until a couple of weeks later. So if I were trading Bitcoin, and this is what I want to monitor, right? I want to make sure that it's still trending up because, you know, I put a lot of money, and then I want to make sure that I would probably exit before the price goes down to collect some profits. And so my strategy is that I need to see if price has broken structure. So right now I can see that price hasn't broken structure, but it was like testing the structure, right here. Why I said it hasn't broken structure is because this particular candlestick didn't close below the EMA. If you learn about like technical analysis, you know that this, you know, red and green candles are called candlestick, and how you determine whether it's like open or close, high or low. Pretty much, you can see like the wick right here. It's a long wick. It means that this is the lowest of this particular candlestick, and this is the highest of the candlestick. And if it's a red candlestick, it means that it opens high right here, and then it closes below right here. This is the body of the candlestick. So same thing about a bullish candlestick. It opens low, and then it closes high. And then the wick that you see here is actually the lowest point of this candlestick, and the highest wick is the highest point, highest price of that candlestick. So this one, it was already testing the exponential moving average, which means there's an indication that price might be moving further down. So the confirmation is that the price, not confirmation, but another indication that the price might be going down is this one bullish candlestick right here, which is this red candle, which has closed. So the candle is closing. This is the close price of the candle, has closed below the trend line, this line, and then below the exponential moving averages. So this is another indicator that the price is going to move up, right? And if you're trading Bitcoin, and if you put a lot of money, you might want to have like a trading, like an exit strategy as well, when you want to like sell, or whether you still want to hold your position, right? Once it has closed below, the confirmation for me is that price not only has to break the structure, close below the trend, the EMAs, but also to be trading. The price has to be trading below the 50 exponential moving average. So this is another confirmation that price is moving down. This one right here, this candle. And then we have the EMA right here, the 50 exponential moving average is already trending down. So this is a confirmation that price is moving down. But if you were to look at, and this is a daily time frame, right? I'm looking at daily because most Bitcoin traders would normally like hold their position. I don't know if there's anyone who would scalp Bitcoin. Maybe there would be. But even if you're a scalper, you'll look into like the 4-hour time frame, and it's actually the same thing that you will see, and you will find a quicker confirmation if you see at a lower time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame, previously it was the daily time frame, which means each candle would close on a daily basis. 4-hour, basically it would close every 4 hours. So this was already an indication that price is going to go down. It already broke structure. This is a very strong candle. Let's see how many pips this is. Okay, I don't even know because I've never like traded Bitcoin before, but it looks a lot. I am not too sure how many, but this is a very strong momentum, I would say. And when price close, it goes up to retest this EMAs, and then price rejects again, which means this is a confirmation for me that the price is definitely going down. So for me, and if you have a trading rule, this is where I would exit my trade and collect whatever profits that I have. But just looking at the chart, right, I can see that right now price has rejected this level. So it already rejected this level, which is pretty good news for those who are still holding their positions, because it means that this support level is still holding. The last time this level was tested was back in January. So it tested this level quite multiple of times. You can actually see here, we're on a daily time frame. You can actually see price tested right here, and then tested again right here, and then tested again right here, right? And then now price is testing again. So if price is testing this level and then it managed to like bounce back, then you're good, right? But of course, in technical analysis, you have to look into a couple of things, right? Right now, what I see is it's still going downtrend. I can still see that it's going downtrend. The EMA is still on a downtrend, but maybe it'll go back up. We don't know. That's why it's also very important, besides your fundamental, besides Elon Musk tweeting this, and then besides the news saying one thing, you would also need to look at the chart as well to determine whether or not this trade is still worth holding on to. So right now, what I can see, it's still trending down. But if I were to look at a 4-hour time frame, it's still going down. You can actually see right here, still trending down. But if I were to look at a 1-hour time frame, I can see that price has tested this support level once, very recently, just last week. And then this one, also very recently. And then price is starting to move up. So you can actually see right here, it's moving up right now, testing again the EMA right here, and then pretty much trying to reject, and then now it's like trending at this level. But of course, I still wouldn't buy yet. If I would like trade, right, I still wouldn't buy until price actually broke this structure, this trend line right here, because that's my confirmation. First, price needs to like break structure, and then if there's an uptrend, that's an indication that you would buy. So it really depends on what kind of trader you are. Some people say, buy now when the price is low. It's true to a certain extent, but of course you need to look at other things as well. Like for me, I would only look at the chart because I don't really look into the news, what's happening in the US or in the UK. News would normally just fluctuate the price very on a very short-term basis. But whatever that chart says is pretty much, I would say, like pretty solid, because well, that's what technical traders do, right? We don't rely on like news and tweets, for example, from Elon Musk. We would only look into the chart to see whether or not, the price, whether or not there's a setup for like buying or selling. Yes. Sorry that I went a little bit longer, but I hope this was helpful.
That's exactly what we needed, actually.
Yeah,
That's all good.
I actually wanted to see if we can go back to almost like the beginning of when you started sharing.
There are many points that we could go back to and really deep down and really dive into it and to find out more. Is there a particular one you want to look at, Chong-Su?
Yeah. I think the first one was the most interesting. So this is This was when you started showing us some of your trades yesterday, right?
Yes.
So
the
we're
first
not
one
looking
was
at Bitcoin anymore. We're going back to
At
your
gold.
gold.
gold, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should probably look into trading gold. It only gonna take you about 2 hours a day.
Not financial advice though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's definitely not my strong suit. So,
Yes, this
and
was
I
gold.
think once we go back to the emotional conversation, we can definitely dig deeper into that. Yeah. So your first trade with gold, I think it was at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.
Was it yesterday? Yesterday, 8
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah, this one right
Is
here.
that the first trade you made?
Yesterday, yes.
Okay. And I think we were looking at the 5 minute there, right? If you can just go back to the 5 minute.
Here you go. This was 5 minutes. Give me one moment. Okay. This was yesterday at 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I think you were saying that you took the first attempt at the first breakout. Was that correct, or the second breakout?
The first breakout, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so you took it out for the first breakout, and then you kind of held it because you were waiting
because
for your
it was also, you're right, and because it was also like breaking again, right?
Yeah.
And then I think my stop loss was around, I can't remember, but I think it was like around this area.
Okay, so you were technically stopped out though, right?
Yes, I got stopped out. Of course, I was like profiting for, I don't know, for about $10 or something before they took all of my money and then go again back up. But that's like normal, right, when you trade.
Yeah, so I guess I just want to emphasize that, like in this scenario here, like you're from a charts perspective, it looked like odds were in your favor.
Yes.
So you pretty much bought in around 8:15, something like that, right? And then
Yes.
you were waiting for your certain exit strategy, which I guess that's my follow-up question, which never came along, but then you ultimately end up getting stopped out, right? But because you were confident with the chart that you're seeing, you continue to kind of wait around to see what would actually happen, right? And that's
Exactly.
when maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, you actually stepped in again and you were able to ride that big candlestick up all the way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like very important to put like stop losses, at least for me. But for a more aggressive trader, they wouldn't put stop loss because they know that based on a chart, the price is going to go up. So, and there's a lot of different traders out there. Some traders knows that, traders like me would put stop losses below here. So they would want to eat my stop losses. I mean, there's a lot of like traders in Forex specifically. So it really depends if you like trade against the trend or if you like trade with the trend. But for me, so far, what I found is trading with the trend is not safer, but it's what majority of traders would do. But of course, some traders can't make money trading with the trend. They can make money trading against the trend. So it really depends what kind of indicators that you use. Like for me, I use the exponential moving averages just to see where the trend is going. But some people are using, I don't know, RSI, MACD. There's like too many indicators out there. So you got to experiment and see which one suits you best.
Yeah. And just a follow-up question there. So you said, you were technically sitting on $10 of profit before you gave it all away and then some. How do you personally know when to actually exit a trade? Because I think we like, for me anyway, like it feels like you've given us a really good context on how you enter a trade, but I'm still kind of confused as to like, okay, when do you know that it's time to get out?
Right. So for me, taking profit is, so I normally don't put like my target profit. I normally would just like leave it. And also I look into the structure. And the way I look at it is to look at a slightly bigger structure, a slightly bigger time frame at about 4 hours time frame, or 1 hour. And although I scalp, I do look into like weekly 4 hour time frame as well, just to show you a little bit, right? So on a weekly time frame, for this particular trade, I know that the trend was going up. right? And then I saw this pattern right here, which is a descending channel. And this particular pattern, if you like learn Forex, there's like too many patterns. But if you understand how the price moves, you know that this is a bullish pattern, means that price is definitely going to break this channel to move to the upside, which means it's going to be on an uptrend. So I was already seeing this channel. And if I were to go to like the daily time frame, it already broke, right? It already broke on the 17th of May. You can see the date, below here. So this particular candle has already broken. And at the same time, price has already tested again this particular channel and keep on moving on the upside. So this is on a high level analysis on a weekly and daily time frame. So if I were to look at the 4-hour time frame, I know that, and this is also very important, why you don't just scalp. You don't just straight away go to like 5-minute time frame and then try your best to make some money. This was yesterday, 26. Yes, this was yesterday's trade, and it was already like trending. Price has like retested a couple of times this particular structure. So price tested here, and then last week it tested again, which means this is a very strong resistance. But on a higher time frame, you know that price is going to go up. So eventually price is going to break. So what happened yesterday was I just let my my position open, because I know maybe, and this is an assumption, right, that maybe price is going to break this time around. But at the same time, what I see on this time frame is that there's a pattern right here. So you can actually see it's a triangle pattern. So I put it here, right? And then there's also a resistance right here. So if you are a technical trader, you know that this pattern is an ascending triangle pattern, which means if prices keep on testing the resistance level, so resistance level is this one, testing resistance level, testing again resistance level, at one point it'll break the resistance level. At the same time, price was making lower highs. Price is still closing above the last close, closing above the last close, above this close, closing above the last close. So I know that it's just a matter of time that the price is going to break the resistance level. So when I go to a lower time frame, and I was right here. So when I took this trade, I wasn't like hoping that price might just go down, but I normally wouldn't like put my take profit, but my stop loss, I will never not put them. So take profit is not like my major concern where I want to exit the trade, but just protecting my capital is like my main concern. So for this one right here, I actually exit the trade here at this candle. So after like 70 pips, I exit the trade because I thought there was enough. that was already a lot, right? And the reason being is because every single day I'll set myself a goal that maybe, yesterday I wanted to grow my account by 50%. So when I already hit that goal, I'll stop trading right away. Doesn't matter if there's like more setups or like this one, I can see like other setups. But if I've already like hit my goal that particular day or that particular week, I'll just stop trading right away. And this is also very important, also like the psychology of trading, right? You don't want to be looking into the charts all the time, because while looking into the charts, and it doesn't matter how good you think you are, you do need some break as well. You gotta, don't be too attached to your screen and take some alone time, away from the charts. And that's how I would normally do it, to set like daily goal. And once I hit it, I'll just stop.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know we're already at 9 o'clock, but if you don't mind just sticking around for another 5-10 minutes to talk a bit more about the emotion side,
course.
because I think you definitely had a few things that you brought up that we would love to dig a little deeper in. Yeah, are you still good, Nick?
Of course.
Or
Yes, I'm good.
all right, Andrew, take it away.
Right. Do we have questions though, Chongsun?
No, we have no questions from the audience at this point. So if you do have any
Okay.
questions, please do leave it, and hopefully we do have a chance to answer at the end here.
So Nick has a lot of discipline, like about setting goals, and once you hit it, you just go and sleep, right? That's it for the day. That's really difficult. How do you achieve that level of zen in your trading?
Well, honestly, it wasn't a very easy journey for me. It took me a while, like a year specifically, if you interested to know. And it's all about like mindset, right? When I first started like trading, what my mindset was, don't lose money. It's not about, okay, we got to make money. It's about not losing my initial deposit that I put. And really the fear of losing money, or the fear that my strategy won't work, that's like the biggest thing for me. And I don't know why and how, but I would say like just recently, like just this year, right? When I started looking into it, and this is what I did. Every single time when I take the trade, I would make sure that I review it and look into what are the mistakes that I make. And I have like a trading journal that I save. It's all just about all the trades that I make, what works and what doesn't. And that's how you start building like your own trading rules and your trading strategy, when you would want to enter and when you would want to exit the trade. And also, I think it's all about like containing emotion, just thinking quickly and exercising discipline. And I see this very clearly when I trade gold, because gold moves so fast. Like this one candle right here, if you like previous, on the chart, one candle go up to like 70 pips in in actually just 5 minutes. Like this was like crazy. So what happened if you were actually like selling this, right? So what would you do? Would you still want to like sell it, or are you gonna go onto the trade? Like this one right here, I think it was like about 70 pips or something. No, this one was about 90 pips. But on a 1 minute time frame, one of the candle was about 60 or 70. So you got to like think quickly. And when I trade gold specifically, I can see that there's a bullish structure there, and when price like breaks, and then I want to buy, right? But what if you see like a bearish structure? Would you not want to like take the trade, and then would you not want to like close your previous trade, right? So it's just like thinking very quickly, and at the same time to really exercise discipline. And I think a lot of trader actually talks about this a lot, like stick to your trading plan, stick to your rules, be disciplined. But until you actually feel the losses that you've already taken, I don't think you can learn about being disciplined until you actually like experience it yourself. And that was what happened to me over the past year, because I was looking into different trading strategy. I was like looking into different trading sessions, and it wasn't just working out for me. And so I decided to, just like focus and look into what are things that I could be doing, and how I can build my own trading rule and really just stick to that trading rule. And obviously, you need to be adaptive as well and flexible. One trading style, one trading strategy won't work every single time. And of course, this was only like one strategy that I showed. But in that one strategy, there are actually other strategies that you can actually take. So while you're selling, you can while you're buying, you can actually sell as well and make money based on a different strategy. So you got to be like very flexible and adaptive as well. And at the same time, I do a lot of research. I know it sounds like very like boring, right? Like research. Why would any trader do that? But this actually works. And what I would do is, and there's so many Telegram channels and so many YouTube channels as well. If I can like share this one YouTube channel, I don't know if I can like share here, but yeah, you can actually see. Yes, this is one YouTube channel. You can just Google it. It's called NTG Academy. And I was just really studying how he does his trade, right? And my strategy is simply based on his strategy as well. So you can actually see that he grew 100 account to like $5,000 in like just by scalping only, right? Like 1,000 to 11,000, and this is all real account, and he's a real trader. And he shows all this, and he's like giving all this information, but also he emphasizes a lot about being disciplined and being independent as well, in a way that you got to do your research, you got to do your analysis. So I was like researching and really studying how he does things, and at the same time implementing it to the strategy that I've already learned. Right, but of course, his strategy is like just one of the many strategies that I know. You got to like combine it with all of your knowledge as well. Like I was telling you guys about chart patterns, for example. These are all by the books, but going into the market and really looking and determining the patterns and the structure, that's how you would learn the best. Because looking at the book, it's all very theoretical. But going into the market, these are like the reality of like trading, right? And it happens like super fast. Even, you know, with gold, it moves like so fast and so crazily, you know, going up trend and then downtrend. And you can actually spot this these patterns like in a couple of minutes, or, you know, in the next few hours. And that's why I love trading gold, because whatever Forex knowledge that you have already learned, you can actually implement in trading gold. Of course, you can implement it in other pairs as well. And this strategy works in other pairs. If you look at like GBP USD, for example, you can also like see this. But anyway, I would say also that the mind really matters when you want to make money. Like what's your intention to make more money, right? Why are you doing this, right? Is it because of passion? Is it because you want more money? Is it because you want to buy more things? Really depend on your drive as well. If there's no like drive from you, then it doesn't matter how much Forex knowledge or whatever knowledge that you are learning. But if you don't have like the why, then I don't think anything would work if there's like no initiative. And at the same time, I think the secret here is all about being consistent and being disciplined and being very, very patient. And I think one of the things that I thought when I first started trading is that I want to make money as fast as I can. Because when you trade Forex, you can open an account for $50 and then you can already start trading. But of course, making money isn't that simple. And you need knowledge, you need experience to do this. And with Forex specifically, you got to be consistent. Like for me, I've been like consistent like every single day to only trade during New York session. That's it. That's like my discipline. I'm not going to trade like any other session, because also I have a full-time job, and I can't like focus on my trade and then do another job, right? And then being very patient in a way that you got to wait for the pattern. You got to wait for a confirmation or why you would want to enter the trade. It won't happen, you know, right away when you open the chart. It won't happen just like that. So I would say, yeah, basically these three things are the key here: being disciplined, being consistent, and also being very patient.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think what Nick shared is useful no matter what kind of investor you are, because even if you are a fundamental investor, like having discipline, having a journal, closing your positions before you sleep, don't lose money, cut
That's true.
losses. And this is useful no matter what style. And while even if you're a fundamental or value investor, it helps. It adds another layer if you know technical analysis, like your entry and exit points. So it doesn't hurt to find out a bit more.
That's true.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really like the whole idea of really writing down every single trade, because then you can actually go back and analyze yourself really, right? It's like, what was I actually thinking at that time? Was I in the right state of mind? How can I, how do I avoid making trades if I notice certain patterns about myself, right? And I think that's something that I've also started doing a lot more of. Actually, before I actually put a trade in, I write it down, and then to just kind of give myself some time to really think it through again. And then if everything still sounds sound, then I actually make my own trade. So I know I don't do any scalping or anything, but this is for more of a long-term fundamental value investing type of style, right? But yeah, I think that is really all we have time for today. Nick, thank you so much for joining us today. Is there any way for people to get in contact with you if they want to learn more, or would you prefer them checking out these YouTube channels first before reaching out to you?
Well, they can reach out to me. It's just that I haven't been on social media for so long, almost a year actually. But you guys can find me on Facebook, on Instagram as well. I do have one Telegram channel, but I just very recently, just yesterday actually, I just created it and pretty much shared every single strategy that I use, just to make sure that the information is there, the knowledge is there, so people can. You guys can also follow me. The channel is called Goldmine.
How do you spell that?
It's GOLD.
Gold, Goldmine.
Goldmine.
MINE.
Right.
And
nice.
The link is actually My Gold Mines, MY Gold Mines with an S.
Okay.
On Telegram.
So we'll update our description with that link so they can sign up there.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested in learning or going deeper in technical trading or learning more about gold, or just wanted to pick Nick's brain, or maybe hire her as your private coach as well, I'm sure she would be open to having a conversation with you, right?
Of course.
So besides that, thank you so much all for joining. Thank you, Nick, for sharing so much great information today.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Happy to. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah, and then for those who are interested in staying with us throughout this whole lockdown journey, tomorrow we have Terrence, who will be really talking more about how to brand yourself online to really grow your career. All right, so hope we see you there tomorrow, and until next time, take care.